Open on Arrakis, the deep desert. A place where the wind sings in a language older than empires and the sand remembers every footstep it has ever swallowed. Paul Atreides sits cross-legged on the crest of a dune, his robes bleached to bone by the sun, his eyes the total Ebad blue of a man who has drunk enough spice to redraw the shape of his own soul. Around him, the Fedaykin, his death commandos, form a circle of silent worshippers. Chani watches from just outside their ring, her hand on the hilt of her Crysknife, her face unreadable. She has seen him do this before. She has never seen him take this much. He is not chasing survival. He is chasing the shape of the disaster he cannot stop. The holy war being fought in his name across a galaxy that has already declared him its messiah. The Fremen call him Muad'Dib. They call him Lisan al-Ghaib. They call him Mahdi. Every one of those names is a fuse burning toward a fire that will consume 61 billion souls before it goes out. He is looking for the branch, the one thread of tomorrow where the killing stops, where the prophecy his mother's order engineered into his blood does not devour every world he can see. But then, something in the vision moves that should not be able to move. A shape, tall, black as scorched glass, breathing. The desert around it does not exist. The suns overhead are not his suns. And when Paul reaches out with a sight that has never failed him, the sight that maps every possible future like veins of light through the meat of time, the figure returns nothing. No past, no future, not a possibility, not a probability, not a ghost, a hole in creation, shaped like a man. Paul's breath catches. On the sand, in the waking world, his body seizes so hard that Chani lunges to catch him before his skull cracks against the crest of the dune. Somewhere else, in a place with no coordinates and no time, something ancient turns its head toward him. Enjoying our alternative Star Wars universe? Consider liking and hitting the hype button to show us your support. Don't forget to subscribe for more mind-bending tales from the Star Wars universe. Half a galaxy and half a mythology away, aboard the Super Star Destroyer Executor, a black shape floats inside a hyperbaric egg. The chamber hisses shut around him. Inside its pressurized air, Darth Vader can breathe without the mask. His face, what remains of it, is naked to the sterile light. The burn scars, the empty sockets, the stitched horror of what walked out of the fire on Mustafar 20 years ago. He hangs suspended in his throne, his prosthetic hands resting on the arms of the chair, and he reaches into the Force the way a diver reaches into deep water. He is not searching for the Emperor. Sidious sits in the corner of his mind at all times, a fixed and toxic star. He's not searching for the rebellion, whose small treasons he can taste like blood in the current whenever he wishes. He is searching for the thing that has been calling to him. For 3 nights it has come, a whisper at the edge of his meditation, a presence that does not belong. Not Jedi. The Jedi are ash, and he has swept the ashes himself. Not Sith. There are 2 and only 2, and the other one is Sidious. Not the boy whose bright signature he has begun to notice at the edges of his hunts and refuses yet to name. This is something else, something enormous. A mind that seems to occupy 100 moments at once, that looks at him from 1,000 angles the way a fly's eye looks at the world. It has been closing on him, or he on it. He cannot tell. He reaches, and the Force reaches back. The meditation chamber goes still. The pumps stop. His own breathing, the sound that has anchored 20 years of his life, cuts out. Darth Vader opens his eyes into a place that is not his ship. They meet on sand. The sky above them is bruised. Not blue, not black, but the color of a wound that has not decided yet whether it will heal. 3 suns hang in it, 2 small and white and cold, the twin suns of a farm boy's childhood. One vast and red, low on the horizon, painting the dunes in the color of dried blood. There is no wind. There is no sound. The place has weight, but no direction. Paul is on his feet again. His body, wherever it truly lies, is in Chani's arms in the deep desert. Here, in this between place, he is whole and clean and standing. The figure in black is 50 meters off across the dune floor. Paul has walked through the deaths of his own children in vision. He has watched planets burn from 10,000 angles. He has never seen anything like the man walking toward him now. The armor is not ceremonial. It is a life support system carved into the shape of intimidation. Every panel is functional. Every wire is doing work. And the great black cape moves in a wind that isn't there. The mask has no face. The eyes are lenses. And the sound is the loudest thing in the silent world. In, out. A man kept alive by grief. Paul lets his hand fall to his Crysknife. The milk-white tooth of Shai Hulud rests naked against his palm. He does not draw. Not yet. "You are not in my futures," he says. And his voice is the voice of a man who has never had to say that sentence before. The mask tilts. The breath rasps.
"And you,"
Vader says,
"are not in my force."
They circle, not fighting, testing. Paul speaks first, because Paul has always known how to speak. "I know what you are, not who. What? You are what the prophecy makes." His voice is soft, almost gentle. "You are the chosen one after the choosing." The lenses do not blink. "Anakin Skywalker," Paul says. The name goes into the mask and does not come out. For a long moment, there is only the breathing. Then Vader says, low,
"That name is dead."
"So is Paul Atreides," says Paul. And yet, here we are. Vader considers him. This slight sunburnt boy in dusty robes with the eyes of the color of drowning. There is no Jedi discipline in him. There is no Sith rage. There is the exhausted stillness of a man told since childhood that he is the answer to a question the universe has been asking for millennia. Vader has known that stillness. Vader has worn it. He remembers, distantly, a robed Jedi Master crouching in a slave hut on Tatooine and looking into him and saying, "You are the one the prophecy speaks of." He has carried the weight of that sentence for 40 years, and it has crushed him one vertebra at a time.
"You were prophesized,"
Vader says. Not a question. "To bring balance," says Paul. "To lead. To save. To end the suffering of my people."
"And instead, you brought..."
"A holy war that has not yet begun and cannot be stopped." Paul's mouth twists. "And you?" Vader is silent. He does not answer with a word. He answers by being what he is. Paul nods. "Yes, I know." Vader tests him first. He reaches into the Force with the confidence of 2 decades of unopposed dominion. He has broken minds cleaner and sharper than this desert boy's. He seeks the thread of intention, the flicker of the next move, the small, unconscious flinch that tells a duelist where the blade will go. He finds an ocean. Every future Paul might choose is present at once, layered like the pages of a book with no binding. The boy is not thinking a move. He is thinking every move, and every consequence of every move, until the Force itself becomes a foreign tongue trying to describe water in the vocabulary of stone. Vader recoils. The Force has never recoiled from him before. And Paul, in the same instant, reaches. Prescience blooms behind his eyes. The branching wheel that has shown him every angle of every death. He points it at Vader. Nothing. Where a man should be, there is a shape cut out of the world. Vader is not a possibility. He is a subtraction. For the first time since he drank the water of life, Paul is blind. He tries a different weapon, the one his mother Jessica taught him, the one that has bent kings and shattered Sardaukar in the streets of Arrakis. The voice, a Bene Gesserit weapon older than empires. Its vibrations turn to override the ancient obedience circuits of the human mind. "Kneel!" he says, and the word is not a word. It is a wave. The wave hits the mask. The mask does not hear it. Whatever obedience circuits Anakin Skywalker was born with are behind 3 inches of durasteel and a lifetime of pain, and the voice slides off him like water off a stone. Vader tilts his head.
That trick,
He says,
does not work on me.
2 gods, blind, deaf to each other's oldest tools, reduced in the space of 10 seconds to men, which is when the sabers come out. The red blade ignites with a sound like a struck bell being murdered. Vader does not lunge. Vader never lunges. He advances the way a landslide advances. Patient, inevitable, unopposed. His saber comes up in the guard of Form 5, the aggressive dueling style Anakin was drilled in under Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader perfected on the corpses of Jedi Masters. His mechanical arm remembers 1,000 duels. His flesh, what is left of it, remembers Mustafar. Paul does not have a lightsaber. He has never needed one. He has a Crysknife carved from the tooth of a sandworm and the reflexes of a man trained by Gurney Halleck, Duncan Idaho, and Thufir Hawat, 3 of the deadliest weapon masters House Atreides ever produced. And he has the Weirding Way, the Ben Gesserit combat art that turns muscle and breath into a weapon quicker than most eyes can follow. He moves, not toward Vader, around him. A shape flowing across the sand at an angle Form 5 is not designed to intercept, because Form 5 was built to counter other lightsabers. Not a barefoot prophet with a knife of bone. The red blade sweeps. Paul is not there. Vader turns, and turns again, and the boy is at his back. The Crysknife's tip a hair's breadth from the seal at the base of the helmet, where the neck piece meets the shoulder. A place Vader has never bothered to armor further, because nothing has ever gotten close enough to threaten it. Paul does not strike. He wants to. He can see the strike in 1,000 branches. He sees himself drive the tooth in and end this. But he can also see what happens after. The suit fails. The man inside gasps once and dies, and he learns nothing. He withdraws. Vader spins, and the red blade cuts the air where Paul's chest was a half second ago. And for the first time in a very long time, for the first time since a young Obi-Wan Kenobi took him apart on a lava bank, Darth Vader is fighting someone he cannot predict, and he is furious. And he is, for a single unfamiliar heartbeat, alive. The duel breaks in the middle of a stroke. Paul, dodging a downward cut, catches Vader's eyes in the lenses, and the vision hits him so hard, he stumbles. He sees, not futures. Vader is still a blind spot. What he sees is the man's own memory, bleeding across the space between them in a single terrible cascade. A slave boy on a desert planet not so different from Arrakis, working under twin suns for a master who owns his mother. The same boy, older, walking through a Tuscan camp with a saber lit, cutting down every man, woman, and child because they had killed his mother. The same young man, black-coated at the head of a column of white-armored soldiers, walking into a temple full of Jedi children with a blue saber lit. The fire on Mustafar, the mask closing, the scream that never quite stops. The prophecy fulfilled and then betrayed. The chosen one who chose wrong. The Messiah who became the monster his teachers had feared. Paul stares at him and knows what he is looking at. He is looking at his own tomorrow. Not a tomorrow, the tomorrow. The one at the end of the jihad, where there is nothing of Paul Atreides left. Only the god the Fremen scream about. The tyrant who cannot remember why the killing started. He has seen versions of that man in the deep spice trances and turned away from them. He is looking one of them in the mask. The Crysknife lowers. "I know you," Paul whispers, and on the other side of the sand, behind the lenses, Something in Vader answers before he can stop it, because Vader is seeing it too. A prophesized one, still soft at the corners, still capable of being turned. A door back to a room Vader has spent 20 years telling himself was bricked shut. Paul looks in the lenses, unbearably like the Padawan who used to laugh in the halls of the Jedi Temple. The breathing catches. For the length of a single hiss, for the length of one intake in the machine, Anakin Skywalker looks out through the mask. Then, he sees what he is looking at. For the length of one intake in the machine, Anakin Skywalker looks out through the mask. Then, he sees what he is looking at, and he does the thing he has always done when he sees his own reflection. He attacks it. The red saber comes down harder than it came down before, and Paul, who a moment ago was seeing the man inside the armor, has to abandon that sight to keep his head on his shoulders. He retreats, and as he retreats, he does the one thing he has spent the entire war trying not to do. He reaches deeper into the spice. The weirding way sharpens. His movements become inhumanly economical, then inhumanly precise, then simply inhuman. A boy no longer moving like a boy, but like the god the Fremen believe he already is. Every strike he makes is a strike he saw an hour ago, a day ago, a life ago. He is becoming Muad'Dib faster than he has ever become Muad'Dib. And Vader, watching this, feels the old familiar heat rise, because the boy is doing what he did. The boy is climbing the same ladder. The boy is choosing the same rung. Vader hates him for it. Vader loves him for it. Vader recognizes what a mirror shows when you cannot bear the image, and he strikes harder, faster, more brutally to drive the reflection out of the glass. And every blow he lands, every step he forces Paul back, every ounce of dark he pours into this fight, pushes Paul one more step down the road that ends in a mask. They are not canceling each other out. They are compounding. The Messiah is making the monster more monstrous. The monster is making the Messiah more messianic. Each one is the accelerant that turns the other into what he feared he would become. This, Paul realizes with the small cold horror between two heartbeats, is what meeting your reflection actually does. It does not save you. It damns you faster. Paul is going to die. He can see it now. Not as a possibility, as a certainty. The moment is 30 seconds out. The red blade will find him at the collarbone. Chani, in the deep desert, will hold a body that has been dead in vision for 3 heartbeats already. He has one move left. It is not a strike. It is a sentence. The prescience that has spent this entire fight beating uselessly against Vader finds one thread. One. A single fine golden filament running out of the black hole where the man in the mask should be. He has to look at it sideways to see it at all, but it is there, and it leads somewhere. Paul drops his guard. On purpose, he lets the red blade come, and in the last instant, before it can land, he speaks. Your story does not end here. Vader's arm, the mechanical one, the one that has never hesitated in its life, hesitates. It ends, Paul says, and his voice is soft and old, and stripped of every Messiah's trick he owns. With your son. The saber stops. The sand does not breathe. The 3 suns do not move. The mask does not answer. Paul does not press. He does not have the strength to press. He simply gives the man in the machine the one thing his own prescience cannot give him: a future. There is a room, he says. A throne room aboard a great steel star. An old man in a black robe is killing your boy with lightning from his hands. And you, the monster, the fallen one, you pick that old man up. You carry him. You throw him down a shaft into the heart of the machine. And when your mask comes off, your son sees your face, and your son loves you anyway. Silence. That is where your story ends, Paul says. Not here. Not with me. The lenses stare down at him. And behind them, for one impossible crackling second, something wet and old and human answers. The saber goes out. Paul comes back to the sand. Chani is over him. Her hand is at his throat, feeling for the pulse she has been holding onto for the 10,000 seconds he was gone. When his eyes open, still that terrible total blue, she closes her own eyes and pushes her forehead against his, and says one word in the Tchaikovsky tongue that is non-translatable and does not need to be. Stilgar stands behind her, and behind him, the Fedaykin, and none of them will ever know what their Mahdi saw. He will not tell them. Some things you see in the deep spice belong to you alone, because sharing them makes them true faster. He sits up in the sand. He looks at the horizon, and he understands, with a calm more terrible than any grief, that the jihad is going to happen. He has seen the road that avoids it, and he has seen the price of that road, and he knows now, the way only a man who has met his own reflection in another man's mask can know, that he is not strong enough to pay it. He will fight the war. He will become the god. He will become the monster. And then, someday, an old man in his blood will pay the price he could not. He touches the Crysknife at his belt and does not draw it. Half a galaxy away, in a black egg on a black ship above the stars, Darth Vader opens his eyes. The meditation chamber has not moved. The pumps are running again. His hands are on the arms of the throne. Nothing in the room is different. Everything in him is. He sits, and he breathes, and he lets the name he has not allowed himself to think rise slowly to the surface of his mind. Luke. On Coruscant, in a tower of red light, Emperor Palpatine feels a small, unfamiliar tremor in his apprentice. A tremor he cannot quite identify and cannot quite kill, and dismisses. 2 prophecies continue. The Lisan al-Ghaib rides for Arrakis and the throne of the known universe, and the Holy War marches out ahead of him like a shadow with a will of its own. And the Chosen One walks the dark corridors of a black ship, breathing, 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 and thinking, for the first time, of a boy on a farm under 2 white suns. They will never meet again, in no timeline, in no vision, in no future that either man can see, but somewhere, in a place with no coordinates and no time, on the crest of a dune under 3 suns, the sand still remembers where they stood, and the wind, when it finally moves, sings in a language older than either empire. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternative Star Wars universe, where destiny takes unexpected turns and balance means something entirely different, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We explore the infinite possibilities hidden within the galaxy far, far away, asking the questions that reshape everything you thought you knew. The Force has many paths. Come discover them with us.